And she's gonna keep framing this like I'm like a denier, or that I'm like, you know, that I'm going to, what is it, like victim blame her or something like that. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. That's not, I'm not doing that.
Like absolute dirtbag.
What happened? What are we pulling from this? Nothing happened. What is she, are there guesses? Like, what could I possibly have done wrong here? At no point is she disagreeing with anything that I'm saying. At no point is she saying, yes, I did bring up evidence that this was done. At no point is she saying, yes, I did give context to say that I was abused. This is the context, X, Y, and Z, right here. At no point is she saying, no, I did have real criticisms directly about Hassan.
The reason he's doing all of this is because he has a personal grudge. I didn't actually remember who he was, but it turns out that I called him a pedophile once because he
I don't have a personal grudge.
And I didn't know who he was. I had no frame of reference. I feel like that's more than a 0% chance if you point to a random person on the debate panel, they're a pedophile.
Oh my goodness, there's more than a 0% chance, guys. Why didn't I think of that? You're right then. Go ahead and call me a pedophile, because there's more than a 0% chance.
God. It wasn't a debate panel because everyone there was agreeing with me.
Yes! Do you know what a debate is, Keffals? What the f***? Did she really just say this? Did those f***ing words just come out of her mouth? It wasn't a debate. We all agreed. I pause. I give like a detailed explanation of why she's wrong and why I'm right. I give a detailed explanation of how she's incorrect and how I'm correct. How she, like, is lying, how I am not lying. Or I'm just taking it out. Where she does it, where she pauses and she's like, oh man, how cringe.
The reason that I brought that up was to show you how insane he is.
I'm embarrassed. I'll admit, I am embarrassed. That was unhinged of me.
I don't have any proof that he's a weirdo. You're probably not a very good person. There's probably some shit that you did that you need to atone for.
Yeah, we're gonna watch, I guess, Keffals reviewed me or talked about me for a while, so we're gonna go to war with Keffals.
It was really triggering. Like, it was really triggering to have to talk about the abuse that I went through. And then following talking about it, there were like a whole bunch of smaller creators who were trying to turn it in, like they were trying to ratchet it up into bigger drama, which is really fucked up. Like, it was specifically because they don't like me that they decided that they wanted to turn. Yeah, that... Hold on. Let me... So...
We were trying to ratchet what up into bigger drama?
Creators who were trying to turn it in... Like, they were trying to ratchet it up. And then following talking about it, there were like a whole bunch.
I'm sorry, I was reading something when she was saying this. Okay, I'm paying attention now.
It was really triggering. Like,
her grape.
It was really triggering to have to talk about the abuse that I went through. And then following talking about it, there were like a whole bunch of smaller creators who were trying to turn it in, like they were trying to ratchet it up into bigger drama, which is really fucked up. Like, it was specifically because they don't like me that they decided that they wanted to turn. Yeah, that... Hold on, let me... So do you remember I brought this up on stream a while ago.
Yeah, so if you guys weren't here, I jumped onto a panel. So first I reviewed Keffals talking about like her abuse and stuff. And I said over and over throughout this, I'm not saying she wasn't abused, but I am saying that nothing she's describing is abuse. Like, all of the things that she is describing, she's saying, I was abused, X, Y, and Z happened. And I'm like, wait, that's not abuse. She says, I left the door open all day because I was really hot. And my girlfriend came home and was really mad that I left the door open to where her cat could have run away and would never come back. And she said, and then she started yelling at me. And it was really abusive. And I said, that's not abuse. Like, that's a pretty normal thing for somebody to yell at you over the fact that you left the door open to where their cat could run away. I fucking hate cats. Okay? I can't stand cats. I'm happy if a cat runs away. But even I will take the position that it makes sense for people to get upset if you leave a door open to where their pet could just get up and run out. So even from her perspective on things, even in her likely, and I'm not saying that she's lying, I'm just saying that, like, we all kind of skew things in our favor in our own heads. And so even from her perspective, with things being skewed, it's still not an abusive thing. The things that she's describing still are not abusive. One of the things that she talked about was the fact that she was laying down, she was really upset, she was kind of apathetic and tired. She was laying down naked in bed. Her fiance came in and started having sex with her. And she was too exhausted to say stop or to say no. Therefore, I was raped. And I was like, wait, that's not enough information to call that rape. Like, from the story that you're telling us, this isn't what anybody would call rape. So I wasn't saying she's not raped. She did not rape. This didn't happen. She's lying. Like, that's not what I said. But what I did say is, based on the context that she's giving us, this isn't rape. But like, if there was other context that's part of the story that was left out, she explicitly said she told her partner to stop. No, she didn't, Melly. She did not. She literally said, I was too tired to tell her to stop. She literally said those words. You're talking about a different story where she did tell her partner to stop. That's a different story. You're just bad at listening. Melly, I'm not going to put up with this shit, okay? You're fucking wrong. I promise you, you're wrong. You are 100% incorrect. I'm not fucking with you. You're incorrect, okay? She literally said, I was too tired to say stop. There was another story where she said she told her to stop. That was not the part where she was laying down naked in bed. That was a different story. So anyways, like, yes, I'm like, they'll make it out like I'm like denying her rape, but I jump onto a panel and they're all sitting there talking about her being abused. And I said, I was like, yeah, my position is that I don't know that she was abused. I like, from the story she told, that's not abuse. If there's other context that she left out, that would make it abuse, sure. But the story that she told, that just wasn't abuse. That's what I said. That was my position. I put in the title, like, was Keffals abused debate? It wasn't really a debate. We didn't debate it. We just had a conversation about it. It wasn't even, it wasn't a scheduled debate panel. It was just like a hangout session sort of thing where we happened to talk about it. And she framed it as like this this scheduled setup panel where we're all there to aggressively debate whether or not she was abused, and that's not what happened. So that was what happened the last time she talked about me. I reviewed it for a second and kind of just made a joke about her her overreacting to it and shit like that. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much what's happened up till this point.
YouTuber Tomfoolery show. He decided to do was Keffals raped debate panel. He saw my...
That's not true. That's not what it said. Again, that is not what it said.
He saw that I like mentioned it on stream, and he responded. I'm just gonna show you this right now. Hold on. Pulling it up. Where was this? Oh, is the auto mute?
Would make them abuse. That's what I said. Like, I don't think the title... Did she just skip over my entire explanation? The whole explanation that I just now gave you guys, I think she just skipped over that. In and of it.
I see he's responding to me right now.
Self is immoral, and I don't think saying we debated it is immoral. I think that we could do this in a really gross way, but all we said is the things that she said. Like, she said I was raped and then gave a story, and that story wasn't rape. She said I was abused, gave a bunch of stories. None of those stories were abuse.
You see what I mean?
Oh my goodness.
I had unconsensual sex that I was coerced into. As a regular occasion, I don't feel the need to go into detail because having to talk about this stuff is incredibly fucking triggering.
And that's fine. I didn't say that you have to tell the whole story. I said that the story that you told was an abuse. That's all I said.
And there were many reasons for why we broke up, but the instigating incident was that I was depressed. I was disassociating, lying naked on the bed. And without asking consent, with me very obviously not being enthusiastic, they just jumped on top of me and started fucking me. And I didn't have any energy. I didn't stop them. And they got mad at me afterwards for not being enthusiastic. So I started planning to leave, and then when they were out, I packed a bag and I fucked off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe the girlfriend did feel insecure, and that's why she was screaming and crying about not having sex, you know? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Um, so so essentially, I remember Keffals doing a fundraiser at the time. To like, didn't she get like $100,000 or something like that? Was it to like escape? Um, was it to like essentially escape?
Was
Go
she
and
living in
hide in
Canada
Ireland
at
or
the
something?
time?
She
Yeah,
said
was it
initially
to?
that she went there to escape kiwi farms, but that doesn't make sense because it's the internet, right?
Because
So
it's the
like you can't
internet,
get
right?
yes, you're not farther away from the internet in Ireland than you are in Canada. So it made literally no sense. Everybody made fun of her for it. And so it was very convenient that now she had a reason for why she actually escaped Canada and went to Ireland instead, which it could be true. Again, like all of these things could be true. I'm totally open to the fact that she
to
was
be
abused
yeah,
and this all was
no.
abusive. She just hasn't given us that context to where any of it would be abusive. But when she ended it, she said, I'm not talking about this again. I will never talk about this again, and I'm done. So
to be fair, there is a good faith. There is like a positive interpretation.
I didn't say, damn this woman for not giving every little detail about what happened. I just said the story that she told was an abuse. That like I'm willing to like hold out for a verdict here, because currently there's her story that says she was abused. I reached out to her partner. Her partner said all of those stories were lies. Neither one of them have given context that would like make me believe one side or the other. So I'm saying like currently I don't have a position on this to say that this was abuse.
And I have regular nightmares dealing with this. My ex explicitly owned up to being an abuser, calling it coercive control, which is a form of domestic abuse. As something I dealt with for 5 years in my life. It's fucking insane.
I don't know where that is, but to me, she said that this didn't happen. To me, she said that these were lies. The girl that she's talking about, who said she admitted to abusing her, said to me, these were lies.
That they get mad that I would think that doing a debate panel on whether or not I'm a domestic abuse survivor is okay.
She said I was sexually assaulted. None of those stories were sexual assault. That's all I said. I didn't say she wasn't sexually assaulted. I didn't say she wasn't raped. I didn't say she wasn't abused. Based. So yeah, here's another person. OMG about K rape, claiming she wasn't automatically.
This got posted as a clip in the drama posting channel, but he literally said that he doesn't even think I know what abuse means.
Correct. Accusing her of lying about such a serious matter. Therefore, she could be lying about 100%. Everything else. I recently started to follow Keffals because I agree with her political content. Not everything, of course. Can't find the video from Keffals about the rape anymore, but I think she said she was in an apathetic state, drunk, high, drunk, or both. Now, do you go to that girl at a party who is hammered, almost unconscious, and fits on to have sex with her? This is worded so oddly, it's hard to read. No, that's not okay. And for the manifesto thing everyone is complaining about, it doesn't matter what she called it. What matters is her critics of Hassan right or not? She didn't have any critiques of Hassan. And the accusations of clickbait doesn't say shit either, because everybody does that, including Hassan himself. Yeah, literally nobody. I'm not complaining about clickbait, so I don't know where any of this came from. And so she didn't have criticisms of Hassan. That's the point. I have a full review of both VODs, but I don't say she wasn't assaulted. I say what she described isn't assault. This person said, I haven't seen this yet. So they said, what are you talking about? Seriously, Keffals have criticized Hassan several times. See, he's mad he looks like a bald Pettigrew. That would get in the way of smugly declaring that he knows everything. Pathetic. My mother's gaslight is better than this. How is that any different, you utter ghoul? Wait, how is it different to say she wasn't abused versus she didn't describe abuse? One is denying that she was abused. The other one is saying she could have been abused. She didn't tell us about it. She stated that she was abused, but she didn't tell us about the abuse. So, like, nothing she said is convincing to me that any of it was abuse. That's all I'm saying. And she's going to keep framing this like I'm like a rape denier, or that I'm like, you know, that I'm going to, what is it, like victim blame her or some shit like that. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying she didn't give us context to where I would be convinced of this. She's stating that that's a fact. Cool. Her partner's stating that it's not a fact. I don't have evidence or information or context from either one of them to believe one over the other.
You see, this is fucking insane. Like absolute dirtbag shit.
What happened? What are we pulling from this? Nothing happened. What is she? Are there guesses? Like, what could I possibly have done wrong here? For just one example, her video called A Weaselly Little Liar about Hassan, are you high or something? That's not the video we're fucking talking about. That's not the fucking video we're talking about, is it? To go bring up another video totally irrelevant to what we're talking about is insane. That's not what we're talking about right now. There's no doubt she criticized Hassan. At no point is she disagreeing with anything that I'm saying. At no point is she saying, yes, I did bring up evidence that this was done. At no point is she saying, yes, I did give context to say that I was abused. This is the context, X, Y, and Z, right here. At no point is she saying, no, I did have real criticisms directly about Hassan. At no point is she saying any of this shit. She's not even disagreeing with the thing that I'm saying. She's just sitting there making faces. Going, whoa, oh, wow, what? Oh my gosh, can you believe it? Besides Hassan, all right, if you...
Just like... Hold on, I want to keep moving forward, because now he's just arguing with a random YouTube comment. This is such weird shit to do live.
Really unethical on this platform, making videos about dead YouTubers at 4 a.m. I am,
Okay, this is when he decided to react to one of my streams, where I mention him.
There it is. Oh, no. Wait, I just saw myself. There it is.
A victim of domestic abuse. I'm not even joking. I think I've ever seen in like 2 years of like online streaming politics. I won't. It has nothing to do with Vosh. I noticed it on New Year's. I'm
gonna talk about.
Okay, let me see when he finds it. Hello, everyone. We're back. I have to white Gila entire stream explaining like the interpersonal drama of why I had a falling out with Hassan and his community. And
yeah, like I
we
personally, I would rather just talk to her about this stuff. I know that from what I'm told, people have reached out to her to try to get a conversation, because from my perspective, this is just a misunderstanding and she's kind of blowing it up into something that it's not. And I would rather just have a conversation with her about it.
Got it. Yeah, he's been. Why are we watching this? I wanna talk about it more in depth, but I'm waiting until he actually gets into it. Since Leftovers was canceled, he really took Ethan and his platform for granted. The whole shit was just so sad to watch.
Has me on screen long, like the title is.
Oh, here we go.
Understand looking at had on baby gloves the whole time. She was criticizing memes. She was criticizing like other content creators that talk to him. She was like, and it wasn't even criticisms of them. A lot of it was just like they're saying mean things that I don't like. Hassan said something that I don't like. Who I don't remember the Muslim girl, but this girl said something I don't like, and so that's all it was throughout the entire thing. Was like she leaked DMs with that girl, and then all of the DMs were just like it wasn't like really mean. LL, Keffals mad at you when you had on baby gloves the whole time. Yeah, there are people in my comments saying that I like my comments were immoral and shit. I can understand looking at the title and getting a bit pissed off by it. I can, and I'll give that to them to some extent, but based whatever it is that the title is making them think happened isn't really what happened. Like, it wasn't this like yeah, so like I guess it's on me for like bad communication with the title.
Yeah.
Tom got... Wait, you can't say yeah, Keffals. You said you watched it. Keffals, you said you watched it, and then you said that we held a debate panel talking about, or debating over whether or not you were abused. You said that. So I can give you the title. Fine, that's my bad. If you said all I did was read the title and this is what happened, cool. Cool. My bad. I fucked up. That's on me. But you said you watched it and that we held a debate panel. We invited people on to debate your abuse and whether or not you were raped. That's what you said. So I'm conceding right here. Yeah, okay, fine. I put in the title, Keffals abuse debate. So if that's all you read, then I could understand. But that's not all you read. You said you watched it, and you still said that we did that. Got the Keffals mention? Are we talking rent-free? I don't know. We'll see. All I know is somebody just commented on my video saying that she had me on screen for a long time. You can see right there that she has me on screen, and they say that she talks about me for a while. I think most of what you do is immoral. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I like, yeah, I can understand to some extent people being upset, but I don't think I did the thing. So I think I can
Yeah, that's what you named it, dude. That's
No,
what
I
the
didn't.
debate panel was.
Hey, you skipped over the part where I'm saying we didn't actually debate that. Agree with somebody on what rape is and whether or not they consider something rape without denying their experience. What was the title?
I'm defining rape in how it's legally defined. This is fucking gross and weird. And I've had to deal with a whole...
But that's not what you're explaining. That's not what you're detailing. You can, yes, that's your definition. Cool. Your details did not align with that definition. If you're using the legal definition, you are not aligning with the legal
A
definition.
bunch of small YouTubers recently who have been circling the wagons trying to do this weird debate bro shit with the topic of sexual assault.
Title? Sexual assault is not a thing that's off limits. I don't know where the fuck this comes from. That's not a thing that's off limits. Like, again, if it was somebody's like specific personal experience that I was debating where she says, I just feel like I was raped. I feel like it was a bad thing. I feel like it was traumatizing. And I'm sitting here like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't traumatizing. You're a fucking liar. If I did that, that would be disgusting. Yeah, that would be really bad. I didn't do that, though. That is not what I did. Debating Keffals' rape. Was Keffals' abuse debate.
Oh, you were memeing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm autistic as shit sometimes. I can't tell when something's a joke. My bad. My bad. We're winding back. Very funny joke, Shatter. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go over that, and then if I have the energy after, there is a debate panel from hell that I kind of want. So this is the part where I found out that the reason he's doing all of this is because he has a personal grudge. I didn't actually remember who he was, but it turns out that I called him a pedophile once because he organized.
I don't have a fucking personal grudge. What the fuck?
Organized a debate panel where he organized a
I didn't organize that debate panel either. You said I organized the debate panel about your rape. Now you're saying I organized the debate panel about freaking pedophilia. I didn't do either one of these things. I didn't organize either one of these things. I was just invited on the panels. I didn't organize shit.
Debate panel where he brought pedophiles onto his show.
I didn't do this. There was a panel where pedophiles were going to be there, making their points. If they're going to be there, making their points, yes, I wanted to go and argue against them, 100%. Maybe Keffals wants pedophiles to have free reign to say whatever they want on shows. And that's fine. That's a position that she can take, all right? That is a position that she can have. But me personally, okay? I don't like pedophiles just going on to streams and saying whatever they want and convincing people of these sorts of ideas. I personally have an issue with this. Now, again, maybe she doesn't. I don't have a whole lot to say about that. I'll leave that to the public to judge her for. But me, I want to make sure that there's pushback there, that there's somebody who knows what they're talking about when they talk about abuse, and that they can give effective pushback.
To debate them, and I didn't know who he was. I had no frame of reference, and you know, if it's a debate panel and there are pedophiles on the debate panel, you know, I feel like that's more than a 0% chance if you point to a random person on the debate panel, they're a pedophile.
Oh my goodness, there's more than a 0% chance, guys. Why didn't I think of that? Fuck. You know what? You're right then. Go ahead and call me a pedophile, because there's more than a 0% chance. Hey, you know what? I changed my stance. Keffals definitely was not raped. There's more than a 0% chance that that's the case. So actually, you know what? Yeah, I've changed. Keffals was not raped, for sure. There's more than a 0% chance that that's the case.
I personally don't know any pedophiles that I can talk to bring them on for a debate. So,
I don't either.
That's not being very charitable to me.
What? Somehow, she just made up that I organized a panel. This is the second panel in two times I've reviewed her. 2 times she's made up that I organized panels that I didn't organize, that I just got invited onto. And I'm the one who's being uncharitable, and she just makes up that I'm a fucking pedophile, and I'm the one who's being uncharitable here. That's, you know what? I apologize. I can't believe I did that. That's wild. I don't know what I was thinking, guys. I was being uncharitable.
It might be the worst debate panel I think I've ever seen in like 2 years of 2 years of like online
It wasn't a debate panel.
and streaming politics. It has nothing to do with Vosh. I noticed it on New Year's that this panel was going on. And it was fucking wild. A handful of people decided to spend New Year's doing a debate panel, and the topic was whether or not I was a victim of domestic abuse.
So, just to be clear, that's not what happened. Again, I understand why she gets this perspective, but that is not what happened. It was just a random hangout panel. That's all it was. I can't be more charitable here, dude. I cannot be more charitable. I'm sitting here admitting, like, I get it. It makes sense how she came to this conclusion. Like, I could not be more Thomas Fair in this case. I jumped on. When I jumped on, Stardust and Food Shops were sitting there talking about, like, her abuse and the fact that she was abused. And they said, you know, what do you think about her abuse or something like that? And I was like, I don't think she was abused. First off, I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's he's just fucking lying. Like, what the hell? That's still a debate panel.
That you guys do. I was like, based on the way that she... Wait, that's not what you said. You said that we set up the panel to debate your abuse. That's what I'm arguing against here. He described it. I didn't hear anything. And we didn't debate it. There was no debate. They said, what do you think about it? I gave my take. They all agreed. We moved on. About abuse. And so...
I don't understand how someone can literally own up to being an abuser, call themselves abusive, and somehow you can walk away thinking this isn't abuse.
I'm happy to see that if it happened. I from what she said to me, she said that that's not the case. So that's what happened, just to be clear.
I'm not even joking. This is how, like, 4 different streamers decided to...
And we didn't really debate it, because as soon as I explained, they all kind of agreed with me, and we moved on.
Spend their new... Oh my god. It wasn't a debate panel because everyone there was agreeing with me.
Yes! Do you know what a debate is, Keffals? What the fuck? Did she really just say this? Did those fucking words just come out of her mouth? It wasn't a debate. We all agreed. What the fuck? I'm being gaslit so hardcore here. What is happening? What the fuck?
Years.
Like, how many people in her chat are, like, saying, like, that's what a debate is? Keffals, what the fuck? Like, how many people are saying this? Let's see. Doubt. Oh, they just agreed. You lied. She is pretty cringe. Okay, so they're saying I lied because it wasn't a debate on my title. We did debate shit, just not that specifically. But yes, we did debate shit. So yeah, so if you want to say my title is a lie, sure. But she says she watched it and that we debated it. So if you want to call me a liar, fine. If you want to say that me clickbaiting is me lying, fine. Keffals, the clickbaiter of all clickbaiters. Non-stop putting up clickbait. Somebody who is the worst about clickbaiting. If you want to call her lying for this, then fair. If you guys are going to be consistent on this, then she's a fucking liar too.
Careful, bud. She might accuse you of something.
She accused me of debating her abuse. She's falsely accused me. She's made false accusations against me. But yeah, if you guys want to be consistent and call her a fucking liar for all of her clickbait as well, fine. Fair enough. I'll take that L. No problem.
Look at this shit. Hold on. Was Keffals abused debate? No, it's fucking real. That was actually real. Like, when I first saw the title, I was like, there is no fucking way in hell this is real. No one would do this.
It's not real. We didn't do it.
So, if I'm feeling up for it, I'll do that one as well. But we gotta get through the Hassan stuff first.
Tomfoolery show, a fitting name. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Whoa, that's horrible. This makes me mad, actually. That's nasty. Keffals, you showed me this, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? LOL. Believe all women unless they are cringe, then debate it for 6 hours. I would never say believe all women. Fuck that shit. Streamers are subhuman. Holy shit. Who the fuck is this guy?
He's just reading my chat. Tipster mentioned, Camel Spire mentioned.
Way this is real.
First noticed Hassan responded because of this post in r/destiny. Hassan calls check. It's insane. You know, at his peak, he was playing Among. This is just okay. I'm done. I actually want to. Yeah, but when does he start talking again?
Just waiting to see if you had anything else to say. So she fucking freaked out over this. Oh my goodness. Because
of my scene.
I'm just blown away. I'm actually blown away that she would respond because of my stream. Okay. I don't know if she's going to go back farther, so just before we get there, just in case she doesn't go back farther and see where the fuck this came from, she was talking about Hassan responding to her, acting like Hassan freaked out, he was unhinged, she can't, like, shit about, like, you know, she ruined his vacation, shit like that. Just a bunch of stuff that wasn't true. Like, Hassan was not unhinged. Hassan did not freak out. Hassan didn't make, like, an insanely big deal about it. He talked about it a little bit. Mostly, he was just talking about, like, shit posters online in general. He was talking about people in general doing the sort of shit that Keffals was doing. As I said, Keffals, like, manifesto on Hassan wasn't a manifesto on Hassan. It had no criticisms of Hassan in there. It just wasn't. And then she acted like he freaked out about it when he didn't. We went over his review of it. He didn't freak out. So this is me doing an impression of her, talking about her. So I'm acting like, oh, she freaked out, dude. Oh, she's so unhinged. She lost her fucking mind. She told
Maeve, I'm almost done.
Really spurred out, dude. Oh my goodness. She fucking freaked out over this. I can't believe this. This is insane. Keffals has lost her fucking mind because of what I said. Isn't this crazy? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, she is fucking unhinged, dude. Tom, you should at her about it. Well, so here's the thing, is that the reason she probably saw this is because you did timestamps and you probably added her.
No, I actually saw it because someone posted in the drama posting channel.
Yeah, she didn't get added.
It was really, it
I
was
was
just
wrong.
like a really fucking insane thing to witness at the time. A lot of us
Insane.
were watching that stream and riffing on it.
Oh my goodness, they riffed on it. So again, she's admitting she watched it. So where I'm saying, if all you did was read the title, I can understand how you came away with that perspective. And she's acting like that's me admitting that it's okay that she came away with that perspective. But it's not, because she admits over and over she fucking watched it. She watched it herself. So there's no possible way she could come away with the perspective that we sat there debating her rape, like she said. No shot.
Anyway, I don't care anymore.
I think there was something else.
A lot of us were watching that stream and riffing on it.
Hey, you notice, like, this is the type of shit that she says in response to me, right? So I pause, I give like a detailed explanation of why she's wrong and why I'm right. I give a detailed explanation of how she's incorrect and how I'm correct. How she, like, is lying, how I am not lying. Or I'm just taking it out. Where she does this shit where she pauses and she's like, oh man, how cringe. Oh man. Wow, can you believe it? So gross. Oh my goodness. I'm disgusted. We riffed on this, guys. Did you know that? Did you guys know that we riffed on this? Oh man, the riffing. Oh, all the riffing that we did. Like, these are insanely different ways of engaging with the content. Oh, I riffed.
Anyway, I don't care anymore.
I'm a fucking riffer. Earlier, she said, she was like, I really want to get into this. I want to talk more deeply about this subject. That's what she said. Right? But now she just doesn't care anymore. She doesn't care anymore. Time to move on. Oh, I don't even care. You know what? I really wanted to talk deeply about this. So deep. Oh, the talking. All of the talking that I was going to do, it was going to be so deep. But now, now I just don't care.
The reason that I brought that up was to show you how fucking insane he is. And
Insane. Fucking insane, dude.
honestly, that entire sphere is fucking unhinged.
Yeah, it's not even worth it. Yeah. It's not even fucking worth it. Let me just spend all this time going over it, and then, you know what? Not even worth it.
Like, I don't want to talk about what I went through. That's part of the reason I named the stream what I named it today.
And that's part of the reason she named that other stream I Was Raped, and then said she was talking about it because of a Xander Hall retweet.
I have a lot of fucking trauma around the stuff that happened to me. And having to see this get, like, having to see these fucking unhinged drama mongers attempt to turn it into some sort of debate.
You guys see how unhinged I was and how much I debated that? Oh my goodness. You guys see how much I debated it and how unhinged I was. Oh my goodness. I'm embarrassed. I'll admit I am embarrassed. That was unhinged of me. I was very unhinged. I'm gonna get back on the hinges now, guys. My apologies.
It's fucked.
And all of that debating that I did. Yes, I'm a debate pervert. Oh my goodness, I need to stop debating.
Tom, have you tried not being unhinged?
No, I have not. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. Just insane,
Like,
dude.
The only reason that they're doing that is
Earlier, I was saying I wanted to talk about this more deeply. I wanted to really get into it. But now, I just wanted to show you guys how unhinged it was. That's all I was doing. I know I said I wanted to really talk deeply about, but really, I just wanted to show you how unhinged it is.
like, the only reason that they're doing that is specifically because they don't like me. And I very much...
I don't have anything against her.
Jesus, calm down, Tom, please.
I literally say during that stream, like, I was really enjoying her content, that I was really liking a lot of the stuff that she was saying. I was really getting on board with her. Like, I say all of the shit. I was not holding a grudge against her. I didn't dislike her. I still don't dislike her. I think it's a misunderstanding. I think she's reading this very uncharitably. I think that she is coming at this as though she's probably being attacked by a bunch of different people, and she probably thinks that I'm one of the people just jumping on board with that shit. That's not what I'm doing. I am not just jumping on board to go attack Keffals. That's not a thing that I do. Not interested in it. Not fun for me. So to some extent, like, maybe that's what she's doing. Maybe she thinks that's what's happening, but that's not what's happening. I have a bunch of other reviews of her stuff where I'm just sitting there gassing her up the entire time, talking about how right she is. I took her side in the Xander Hall drama as well. Like, I'm not this, like, guy who has this hate boner out for her who just wants to attack her all the time. That is not me.
Why are you attacking her, Tom?
I know. Like, recently she had another, she had a video about who is the person who left TYT more recently. I'm blanking on the name. Crap. Can y'all help me out here? What was the... Benny, yes. So Keffals recently reviewed Benny, and yeah, I thought that was a great video, and I thought that was dope. And she had like, she was talking more about tankies and their bad takes and all this shit. I was here for it. I'm not somebody who's like, yes, if she's getting W's and winning, I'm happy for it. I'm here for it. I enjoy it. Those streams are up. You can watch them. Like, I'm not the guy who's just running around hating on Keffals all the time.
Always wanted to never discuss it. I only ended up having to discuss it because of the false allegations that were made against me. And I have no intention of ever actually going into detail again. The stream and the VOD where I talk about it all is up and people can watch it if they want, but I want to move on. And having to see this stuff come up over and over again has been incredibly triggering. And I've had a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of nightmares because
I'm going to repeat something that Hermod said to everybody when she was talking about abuse. She was talking about rape, and people were coming into her chat over and over saying, Keffals, this is triggering. This is upsetting. And Hermod said to them over and over, turn it off.
because of having to relive some of the worst fucking things in my life. Like, if I see a content creator is engaging in this, they are dead to me. I don't care what they say or what they do. I am never going to talk about them again. That's it. That's why I showed you it. This guy's a fucking freak.
She's a liar. This is a bunch of lies. I can admit like where I fucked up in here, but she's fucked up a whole lot more, and her shit is like way worse.
Now, like, I don't think he's... I don't have any proof that he's a fucking weirdo, but in my opinion, if you're going out of your way to debate people on the topic of rape, especially when they're talking in the context of very specific legal definitions.
If you get invited onto a hangout panel, and as soon as you jump on, they ask you about your opinion on this, aka going out of your way to debate it,
that they even gave, you're probably not a very good person. There's probably some shit that you did that you need to atone for.
That's what it is. I'm a rapist. I rape people.
But anyway, I can't fucking stand this shit, and that's kind of where things headed with that. And I'm not talking about it ever again. And I'm gonna ask people in the community.
What the fuck did you expect? Calling their abuse isn't abuse, regardless of the truth of the matter? What the fuck? How? I thought this was actually a fairly good question until you ended it with regardless of the truth of the matter. If somebody lies about abuse, just ignore it, guys. That's not a like important thing to talk about. If somebody's saying stuff, as long as they invoke the word abuse, just let it go, regardless of the truth of the matter.
If they see these fucking nobody losers doing content about it, like there was this one YouTuber named Food Shops or something, or Food Shop, who has like 93 views a video, and people were posting these videos about me where she's really like going in on I could not have possibly been abused. And it's just, they're a fucking megalo who gains apps. They only gain from us talking about them and from me engaging with them. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if half of the views that they get are directly from hate watchers from this community, and we need to deprive them of oxygen. Like, no engaging to criticize them. We don't even need to talk about them. We do not need to incentivize this, okay? Because the YouTube algorithm doesn't give a shit. Hate engagement and positive engagement are both engagement. Just absolutely. The topic of whether or not I was sexually assaulted is not a topic that I ever want to see come up. In the subreddit, in the Discord, I don't want to engage with any of these fucking losers. I don't want to know if they're having these fucking freak debate panels.
As you're sitting there, like, reviewing that content, saying, I don't want to review this content. As you're talking about food shops, saying, I'm not going to talk about food shops. She only gains if I talk about her, so I'm not going to do that. You could have just said, like, there's this other person, blah, blah, blah. But you mentioned food shops specifically.
As it currently stands, all of their streams, all of their videos are getting less views than anything I have put out. And the reason that they're doing this is because they want to siphon clout off of shitting on me.
This just isn't true. This just isn't true. I have given her props so many times for so many things. She's just making up this hate boner that I don't have. She's making up that I'm a pedophile. She's making up that I'm a rapist. She's making up this hate boner. She's making up that I debated her rape. She's making up so much shit.
They hate me, so I'm basically ontologically a liar, and everything that I say is false to them.
Not ontologically. You just happen to name a bunch of shit that is not true and that you just made up. You just made all of this shit up, and you even admit that you made the shit up because you say that you watched the videos. So you're just making it up. You're not ontologically a liar. You just happen to be one.
Them. It's really putting spite first over any pursuit of truth. Yeah, no, that's just like, I'm gonna resist my instinct to go in on these. Just don't.
She making up the shit you're supposedly siphoning.
Yeah, yes. Well, guys. If we give it like the charitable take, okay? She's only talking about me because she's trying to siphon clout off me. She's just clout chasing. That's all this is. Okay? Same thing with Hassan. Same thing with Destiny. Same thing with Xanderhole. It's all just clout chasing. That's it. I'm clouded up. I'm full on clouded up. Tomfoolery Show, Keffals wouldn't mess with us if we were still named the devil. Shut the fuck up.
Engage them. There's like no, they only gain from the engagement. Like, bro is so desperate for engagement that he's like reading YouTube comments. Like, can you imagine?
What's the difference between reading YouTube comments and reading your chat? Do you not read your chat, woman? Are these so different?
I don't think you dislike her, but I can see how others on the outside may see it that way. You're hard to read unless you're on the inside.
I agree with this, yes. I was talking about this a little bit yesterday. Like, lots of people get a lot of out of context clips of me, and I say shit. I do. I say shit. It's a thing that it's just that it happens. Words come out of my mouth sometimes. I do say some shit. And it is easily clippable. And I make it easy on them. But that ends up being like most people's impression of me is not just one, not just two, not just three, but like dozens of clips of me saying shit. And so yeah, unless you know that I'm like just pretty deadpan and sarcastic and smug all the time, I agree that like from her chatter's perspective, this can come off really bad. Same with Xander Hall when he was talking about me. Same with lots of people. Like they're able to misread shit a lot and make it look bad, but for her, when she's saying she watched it, when she's saying that she went over this, that she's saying she riffed off it, like, I don't think that's the case for her. I don't think she can say that she has this perspective. I think her chatters could say this because this is how she's representing it. Tomfoolery Show, I tried quoting you out of context twice and it was so bad. Both times YouTube auto-modded both of them. That's how bad you are. Yeah.
If I did that, if I read like the hate comments and made the hate comments on my YouTube videos part of the content, it's just, yeah, it's gross and sad. Just extremely cringe.
Look, hold on. There's nothing cringe about reading hate comments. Like, I know for some people, it's hard. I know for a lot of people, they just can't read stuff like that. It's triggering. As you said earlier, when people are critiquing you and talking about how you're wrong, you said it's triggering. And I can understand how you would avoid people criticizing you if this is how you engage with criticism. But for me, I don't mind it. I'm happy to go over it.
Okay. Anyway, everyone who found all that shit triggering, I'm sorry. I wanted to show at least some of it, just to give people an understanding of what I was talking about. That I just need to absolutely never discuss this again after this stream, and I don't want people in this community to talk about it. Just absolutely no fucking clout for the people who were trying to turn fucking rape and...
Too late, bitch! Already got it. The thumbnail for this. Oh my goodness.
Turn all of that shit into clickbait. Cool, okay. So, want to do personal New Year's resolution stuff. Yeah, we already got 70 people into the Discord just from this stream.
Also, just wanted to mention, we already got 2 million people in the Discord just from this stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. What's up, Emery? Half serious question, but why is her thumbnail always big boob cleavage pic? Why not? It's fucking based. I'm all for it. Hello.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Good shit. Okay. Yes. You were very
Wait.
loud.
Is it working now?
Okay.
I'm so confused.
Yes, it's working.
Okay. It shows me as muted.
Wait,
I don't know what's
it
going
does
on
show
with
you
Discord.
as muted. What the heck?
Yeah, it is pretty. It's acting
Okay.
really crazy. I hope she keeps doing this, where
Ooh.
she just keeps making false claim after false claim after false claim after false claim. Eventually, somebody's got to sue her, bro. Somebody's got to do something. It's getting ridiculous.
Making it sound like I'm a pedophile, now also making it sound like I'm a rapist.
Yeah.
This is a little insane.
I haven't watched the full thing of you reacting, but dude, it was already pretty bad. I was like, bro, either she's so delusional and so dumb that she's like not catching on to everything that's happening, or she's like being purposely malicious. I have to think it's the second one, because I don't think she's that dumb. It's ridiculous.
Ken just said, bro, we are watching you get pedo jacketed. Yeah.
Live
I'm going full on Xander Hall.
Maybe that's why she protected Shu so much. She
likes pedo jacketing. Oh man.
There's no bad tactics. There's only bad people to go after. So if there's somebody below,
bad targets.
Yeah. She made the mistake before with Chud Logic. She made the mistake with Destiny. But she seems like she got away with well, she didn't do anything specific to Xander, but she thinks she can get away with it this time. That's probably gonna look really bad on her pretty soon here.
Thank you, Mike, for upgrading your membership. Let's go.
Man, that's crazy. I'm hoping someone does something. Why hasn't I was gonna say, why hasn't Destiny reacted to any of this? But they're supposed to be on good terms, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's trying to make sure that they have bridge. So
that's kind of frustrating, because I feel like if he had even looked at the claims that she was making against her ex, like he would have been like shooting up a whole storm about like this is missing, this is missing. Yeah, no, this would have been lit on fire already.
Yeah. Also, real quick, so she didn't even mention this, and I expected her to, but there's a point during the video where she says, where I say, I said I'm not even saying that she wasn't raped, or that she wasn't abused. I'm saying that she didn't give enough context for me to believe it. And then as soon as she starts playing the panel, the first thing I say is, oh, I don't even think she was abused, or I don't even think she was raped, or something like that. Like, I did literally say it, but that's not what I was saying overall. I go on to like say in that panel numerous times, I'm not saying she wasn't abused. I'm not saying she wasn't raped. I'm just saying she didn't give enough evidence, or she didn't give enough context for me to believe it. So I did literally say it at one point, or at the beginning of it, but later on I correct myself numerous times.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's even shocked people are talking talking about it like that. It's like she just expects everyone to like suddenly believe her. We don't need any more evidence, nothing else, no context. Like, it's strange to me. Why would you not expect people to make like I don't know about debate panels, but just discussions in general about like, hey, like this is missing, this is missing. I don't know if I believe this person, or I don't know if we should like jump to conclusions or anything. Yeah. I don't think you've ever said like she hasn't been raped. You've just been like, yeah, let's step back here. Maybe.
Like I said, I did say that at the beginning of the
Yeah.
video. I did say something like that. I think I said
okay.
I'm saying she wasn't abused or something like that. At the beginning of the panel where she just started playing it, I did say that literally. But
Yeah.
I
to be
do
fair, from what you
correct
can-
it.
Yeah, to be fair, from what you can gather, like it's just like from what we're seeing, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Or if she has been abused, it seems so minimal by comparison that it's just like not worth like this entire like allegation. Yeah, that's really frustrating. I swear, I feel like as something like this happened to me, if I was accused, if I was being like pedo jacketed or something, I'd go ham in this. I would try to get lawyers as soon as possible. I can't stand people that are this malicious. It's
Well, she does it in a way where there's like plausible deniability. So she says stuff like, you know, he's somebody who's denying a rape. I don't know, but it seems pretty sus. Like there's something there that he's guilty of. Like she says stuff like that to where like you couldn't actually sue over it, but it's it's pretty malicious.
I haven't watched everything. Does she ever bring up like a video, the joke video where he's like, "I should rape somebody"? Did she ever?
No.
She didn't. Okay.
No.
I was gonna
No.
say, dude, if she ever finds that,
That would have been based.
bro,
That would have been
watch her
fucking
find that
based as fuck.
I'm gonna make a prediction. If she ever addresses you again, I bet you if she ever finds that, she's using that. She's gonna try. She's gonna try so hard to do it. She's gonna be like, well, you know, it's the context missing, but this is pretty sus to joke about anyway. She's gonna stretch. She's gonna Neil Armstrong that shit, like for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's all I had to say is fuck this piece of shit. I hope she gets sued as soon as possible.
Whoa.
Fuck. Yeah.
Whoa. No hate
Where's the
boners
mo-
here.
where's the
we
money?
don't have hate boners.
Where's the money also? Yeah, all that good stuff. All right, have a good one.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Interview Keffals X. I mean, like I said, I've spoken to Keffals X. Like, she denies this stuff. She says that these things are incorrect. The part that Melanie was talking about earlier, where she says that she does tell her to stop and that she doesn't want to have sex and that she fights her off, that is one of the things that I asked her ex about. And she, like, in the text messages, it says, like, hey, her ex says, how did I get these scratches on my leg? So weird. They just ended up out of nowhere. And Keffals responds, it's probably from us wrestling earlier. I think I dug my nails into you. And then Keffals goes on. So Keffals like reads that and then says, yeah, she was trying to force me to have sex with her. And I kept telling her to stop. And I had to dig my nails into her to get her to stop. And so that was one of the things I asked her ex about, is I was like, hey, like, she shows text messages where she's saying it's from wrestling, but then she stops and says, this is from trying to make you stop having sex with her. And she's like, yeah, no, it was from wrestling. Like, we would just fucking pal around. Like, we were just wrestling and just fighting each other for fun. So yeah, again, these are the things that I talked to her about. Doesn't go to the authorities or the police or the authorities, just making a public video. and then says no one can have an opinion on it. That's sus. So I don't know that I expect everybody to go to the police, especially when it's like these are things that are hard to find evidence for and like hard to prosecute. Two, I think that like you can talk about these things publicly, and I would say that yes, if you're going to make content out of it, it makes sense that other people are going to make content out of it. Like, I bet if I made content just agreeing with her the entire time, she wouldn't turn around and be like, wow, this is disgusting. I can't believe he made content off of my rape. Like, you're putting information out there into the ether, and so other people are going to have a say on the information that you're putting out there. Definitely. But, again, like, if I was coming out saying, like, oh, for sure, she was not raped, this didn't happen, then if that was, like, my takeaway, and that was what I was pushing, I could understand her being upset with me, and people feeling like that was gross, but... yeah, that's not really what I was doing. If she spoke in broad terms, but she specifically called out her ex. Right. Well, and so that's another thing, is that, like, in this case, we have a possible victim, and I don't mean Keffals. I mean her ex. Like, if she is incorrect in the things that she's saying, or she's calling things abuse, but not actually substantiating those claims in any way, then, if she was wrong, then we have a victim, which is her ex. And so, yeah, like, those things should definitely be talked about. Those things should definitely be covered, and people should have a say on it. But, again, I'm not saying that that's the case, and there's no way that I could know if that's the case. I'm just stating that I don't know if that's the case. That's pretty much it. These are questions the cops would ask. Sorry, like the texts clearly say wrestling. Yeah. Tomfoolery Show, if you get a chance to talk to Keffals, none of this Tom is fair bullshit. You got jacketed and that was dirty as fuck. I mean, I would talk to her about it, but I would still talk to her about it in a fair way. Like, I would want her to address it. I would want her to kind of admit that that was dirty. But yeah, I would do it in a amicable way to where, like, instead of fighting her on it to where she's more likely to double down. Yeah, I would rather, like, have a calm conversation with her where she's more likely to say, yeah, true, I was being unfair. I shouldn't have done that. Tom, why did you change your mind about her being abused? What do you mean? Yes, and you should be able to hear both sides. But Keffals is a YouTuber with followers, and I have no idea who the ex is. Mm-hmm.
So, she forcefully jacketed you? Sounds like.
Well done. So in the very least, it is not fair in that regard. Way more people will have heard her side of the story than the ex's. Yeah. Tom, you stated that you said she wasn't abused in the beginning, but later you changed to her not sharing what sounded like abuse. I was joking. When I said, no, she was definitely not abused, I was joking. Or I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you're asking. I was saying at the beginning of this, I said, I'm not stating that she wasn't abused. I'm stating that I don't know one way or the other, but the information that she gave us was not abuse. That's what I said. That's what I said during my review of it. That's what I said on the panel. That's what I said during all of this. So. I'm still confused. Why did she put the video out in the first place? So her reasoning was that somebody tweeted out after Keffals did her whole like fallout with Xanderhall. Somebody tweeted out, I've hated Keffals for a long time, especially after finding out how abusive she was to her last girlfriend. And Xanderhall retweeted that. And so when Xanderhall retweeted it, she went live and said, well, now that Xanderhall has retweeted this, I have to address it. And I don't like that I have to talk about this abuse. I was hoping I was going to be able to go my entire life without ever having to talk about this. But now that he signal boosted this, now I have to talk about it. Yeah, it wasn't a very good reason. It wasn't. And, like, it is what it is. We went over that at the time when it happened. Tom, I'm referring to what you said to Mavi. I think that's their name, the person you just talked to. Sorry if I misunderstood. Emery? His name was Emery?
Hello, Tom.
Yo.
How does it feel to be pedo jacketed once again?
I was about to say again. Feels
What?
great. I said I was about to say again.
Yeah.
Yeah, feels good.
I don't know. I don't know how she keeps getting away with this. You're probably like, what, the third person that she's made false allegations of being a pedophile to?
Yeah. Yeah, she did this a while ago. And she was saying that's why I was going after her, is because I hold a grudge against her because she called me a pedophile a long time ago. Where she pulls up my stream. She's saying that, like, I'm about to review this guy's video where apparently it's a panel full of maps, and then her chat starts going off about, like, oh my god, he's a pedophile? He looks like a fucking pedophile too, like, you know, look at that mustache, like, you know, shit like that. And so
I agree with that.
yeah, and I forget what exactly she said, but she was like, yeah, he's gross or some shit like that. And then they were like, no, Keffals, that's tomfoolery. He's banned on Twitch. And she was like, oh, crap. Okay, never mind. And then just cut off the video. So at the time, when it
So
happened...
her impression was that because you look like a pedophile, you must have organized the pedophile debate.
I guess so, yeah. And so at the time, I didn't care so much because I was like, oh, like, it's, you know, who cares if they're saying this in the beginning? They're going to watch the panel. It's going to be obvious that I'm debating against pedophiles and pedophilia very easily, like, very early into this. So whatever, like, they all want to, like, make assumptions. That's fine. But then she's like, oh, I can't review this. Never mind. And cuts it off and moves on to something else. And so I commented, I sent her a DM, I, like, tried getting in touch with her, and I'm like, yo, like, y'all left this off, like, calling me a pedophile. I'm not a fucking pedophile. Like, you acted like I was there defending pedophilia. That's not what happened. I was there debating against pedophilia. And so, and I never got a response, I never got a retraction, never got a correction.
Weren't you also the first person to say what you found out that that person had, like, their grooming victim on there, that it was, like, fucked up and unethical and we should leave or something?
Yes. I was the one who called it out and kind of, like, stopped the panel and got them to kick him off.
And then you got gaslit about that, like, by basically every single person. and now Keffals is running through trying to cancel you for being a pedophile.
Yeah.
The awesome timeline.
Yep. It's a wild turn of events, but
wait, so you said something about, like, that you didn't expect her to respond or anything. You didn't think that it was likely that she would respond?
To that?
No, to you saying that that she wasn't raped.
I don't know if I actually said that it was weird that she responded. I don't know. I have no issue with her responding or like have any thoughts on whether or not she would or wouldn't respond.
And what was your reasoning for you're saying that based on what she said it doesn't sound like rape? What was the reasoning again? Because I watched what she said, and based on what she said, if you take everything as 100% true and that there's no other outside info, it did kind of sound like rape.
So from what I remember, when we watched it at the time, she was saying I was laying in bed naked and they came over and started having sex with me. I was very like tired, apathetic, and just exhausted. And so I just didn't have the energy to say no or stop. That was my reading of it and what I remember her saying.
Wait, okay, that doesn't sound like rape to you?
Not if it's with some random person, it definitely sounds like rape. If it's with somebody that you consistently have sex with, no, it doesn't.
Wait, but if
like
they're not responding and they're not like fooling around or anything too, they're just like laying there. That doesn't sound like rape?
I don't know that. I don't think I got that context in what she was saying. But if she was saying like, oh, I was just laying there like a dead person and we don't ever do like, free use where I pretend to be dead or some shit like that and this happened, then yes, that would definitely sound like rape. But I don't remember getting that context. Do you?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how she made it sound. She said that she was laying there naked and that she was disassociating because she was depressed and that her partner came in and tried to fool around and she was making it clear that she was not like interested in having sex, and then he jumped on top and had sex with her, and she was like disassociating. Yeah, that sounded like sounds kind of rapey. Now, I'm not saying that it's like that there's no other information. That there's probably information that makes it a little bit like harder to determine. But if you take it all as truth, as like then yeah, it does kind of sound like rape. Yeah.
If there was some sort of struggle or something, I don't remember that at all. What I remember is her just saying that she was just kind of like, that she wasn't into it and that she didn't say anything. And to me, like, if you're having sex with somebody very consistently, it's rare that they're going to like come in and like ask for consent and all of this other shit first and like make sure you're okay and all of that. Like it's somebody that you have like a very close relationship with, that you live with, and they have sex with you without like asking first or whatever. That's how I felt it came off, is that she was just laying there, they came in and started having sex with her and she just didn't feel like saying no or stop. And so that was what I understood. If I'm wrong, then like I'll like completely retract that, but that's the way I remember it.
Someone in my chat posted earlier. Can you send me the clip again? Whoever sent that, can you send that clip again? It looks like people in your chat want to look over the clip, but if you want to,
yeah, definitely.
Does Tom believe in the existence of marital rape? Because that's a real thing. What do you think?
Yes, of course.
Is it possible to rape someone if you're married? I don't know. I don't understand.
My
goodness. It was me finding my chat.
They're making it sound like I'm saying if you're in a relationship with somebody and you have sex a lot, that you can't rape them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you're in a relationship with somebody, most of the time, you probably get used to having sex with one another, where you're not going through a process of getting consent each and every time. And so if in this case they just didn't get consent, we would expect at this point in your relationship that if you are consistently having sex without going through that process, that you would it would be on you to tell them to stop.
Okay, I have the clip arena.
Okay.
Oops, do you see it?
Yeah, hold on, let me pull it up for stream. Um, isn't there like a full screen button for the share?
Is there a full screen button for the share?
Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, there should. I think you just double click on it, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
And there were many reasons for why we broke up, but the instigating incident was that I was depressed. I was disassociating, lying naked on the bed. And without asking consent, with me very obviously not being enthusiastic, they just jumped on top of me and started fucking me. And I didn't have any energy. I didn't stop them. And they got mad at me afterwards for not being enthusiastic.
I think that's it.
So
That's the way I remember it. And she says, I was raped right after this.
I started planning to leave, and then when they were out,
So I think the only way you get into a situation where it's not rape is if there's added information about her saying that the thing that she wasn't enthusiastic about was like doing foreplay and stuff as well. That if she was like doing foreplay and like all this other stuff, then yeah, that's going to be a totally different situation. But just like based on the things that she said, to me, it sounds kind of like rape. Yeah.
Yeah, not to me. If we're talking about enthusiastic consent, generally early on in relationships or early on when you first meet somebody, I would definitely say that you need enthusiastic consent for sure.
Well, no,
but
I'm not even talking about like you have to say that you are okay with it, or
I know.
Like,
Hold on. Hold on. I'm talking about enthusiastic consent right now. I'm not talking about saying anything. I'm not talking about verbal consent. I'm talking about enthusiasm. She's saying that because she was not enthusiastic, that this is what makes it rape, is that like she was not enthusiastic about it. And I'm saying that when you're this far into a relationship, I don't know that enthusiastic consent is something that I require. Because there are tons of times that I think that this is what I said when I was reviewing it, that like even in my relationships, there's tons of times where at first I might be like, yeah, no, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not into it. I'm tired. I just got off work. And they're still like, oh, come on. Like, just real quick, like I'll be fast, like blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, no, or just like, I really don't feel like it. You know, hey, just like, you just lay there and I'll just like do my thing. It's like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, that works, whatever. And then they do it. I'm not enthusiastic about this whatsoever, but there's lots of times where I want to make my partner happy anyways.
That's the time where you just gave verbal consent in that example.
In that case, yes, but I'm talking about whether or not I'm enthusiastic. This is what I'm asking you to get from that example.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you had that same situation and then you didn't give verbal consent, where you're like, I'm not really in the mood. I don't want to do this. And then she does it. If you take the part where you gave consent verbally, then yeah, this kind of sounds like you can say, oh, well, it's not like a brutal fucking.
I would take the same exact example, and if I don't say like, hey, I'm not into this, or I don't want to do this, or something like that, then I would, yeah, I feel like that's necessary. At a certain part in a certain point in a relationship, I think that that's like a necessary component in order for us to call it rape. Or at least, let's say, in order for me to call it immoral, if you want to go on some sort of like legal grounds, I'm sure that you could make the case. But if I'm talking about like a moral case for rape on whether or not they did something wrong, I would say in this case, like there's times where I'm more than happy to just have sex with the person, even though I'm not enthusiastic and I'm not into it. I'm giving you verbal, I'm giving you what is being said just to explain to you like thought processes in this exchange. But if it was the same thing, just kind of quiet and wasn't done verbally, I would still feel the same way.
I don't know. I feel like you can say Like there was probably other context to it that makes the situation not sound as bad as it does. And I would be willing, like that's probably the case. And
But that's not
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
yeah, but you would also say that like that in this situation, if the argument was that their partner did something that was like immoral or something, you said that you would probably agree with that.
I said that
Why?
if you want to make a legal case and say that this could probably qualify as legal rape, I'm sure that the case could be made for that. But I'm talking about on a moral level. I'm not saying that this is wrong just based on the context that I have. I don't have enough information to say that this was wrong.
Okay. It is really, it does seem like kind of like a edge case, and like it's so vague that I don't think that you could like justifiably make any conclusion about it whatsoever. But just
That's what I said. That was literally my argument, is that I can't say one way or the other.
Well, no. Your argument was based on the things that she said, you believe that it's not rape. That's different.
No. That is not. I said based on the things that she said, I'm not willing to say that it was rape, and I said this numerous times. At the beginning of the panel, I said, based on the things that she said, it's not rape. I correct that numerous times and say that I'm not saying one way or the other on whether or not she was abused or whether or not she was raped. I am saying that I don't have enough context to make the statement.
No, not whether or not she was, but you're saying based on the information that you have, you don't think that it's rape.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I said. But
yeah, I'm not willing to say that it's rape. Yeah.
Whether it constitutes rape, it doesn't meet the threshold, is what he's saying. Okay. I don't know. I don't really care to like fight on this too much. It's as it stands, anyways. It's like super vague, super hard to read. You probably can't really have any conclusion about it, but like
yes, Tom, you aren't making a case for not knowing. You're using much more loaded language. No, I am not. I am making a case for not knowing. I'm making a case that I don't have enough context.
That's just not true. That's just not true.
It is. What do you mean?
The case isn't that like, I mean, sure, in the appeal, you're saying that like also you don't know. But what you're saying is based on the information that she's given, that situation is not rape. No,
it can be rape. I said this numerous times. It could be rape.
Okay.
I just don't have enough context to call it rape. I don't know one way or the other. If you go through my review of reviewing this, I say that numerous times as well. Like, I have no clue one way or the other. I'm not willing to make a statement on whether it is or isn't. And I say it on the panel. Yeah, I'm not going to make a statement one way or the other. I'm just saying that based on what she said, I'm not willing to call this rape or abuse.
Okay. I'm upset she didn't actually watch the panel or the conversation that you had.
Me too.
She just wanted to bring you up and say that you're a pedophile, which is kind of funny, but also not okay, and I disavow.
Why are people getting this so wrong? Part of it is my fault, because like at the beginning of the panel, I did say like this isn't rape or this isn't abuse or something like that. So like it is my fucking fault because I said that at the beginning. So like it's not. Yeah, it is partially on me for the way that I like worded that shit. But yeah, if she reviewed it, she would see that like I correct myself.
Do you think you're gonna survive the canceling? Think you'll be okay?
I doubt I'm gonna get canceled.
We'll see. I'm betting on your downfall. I said at the very beginning, I really don't care about all the like rape discourse stuff or the rape review shit. I just want to see what happens. I just want you to get canceled, to be honest. The idea of Keffals becoming like your enemy and shit and going back and forth, this just sounds like awesome content. I hope you find a way to actually like poke her pretty hard. And we can see where this goes.
Instead, people have already reached out to her asking her to talk to me, and I'm assuming that's why she did this, was because she's mad that her friends are asking her to talk to me, and so she decided to like make a case for why she shouldn't talk to me. But my issue is that she's like, it's just a misunderstanding, or her just being like horribly bad faith in the way that she's interpreting these things. So yeah, I would like to have my say and be able to talk to her about it. And I would like that, and that's how I would go about it, is like just saying like, hey, like I don't, you're acting like I have a hate boner for you. Like, I hate you from this stuff that happened in the past, but I don't. I have tons of reviews of your content where I'm agreeing with you and I'm gassing you up and super happy about the type of content that you're doing.
What you have to do now is you need to post up your video
while she's
with a
dissociating.
good thumbnail, saying that you were pedo jacketed. That's what you have to do.
That's the
That's
plan.
how you do it. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be in it.
She
Say
calls
hey to
another
everybody in the
person a
future.
pedo, and like a really unflattering picture. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'll probably get the clips of her doing the same to Chud as well.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. Love you. Be safe.
Love you. Bye. Yeah, I think somebody else said it in chat. Like, when I'm saying, like, yes, there's not enough information here for me to call this rape, that doesn't mean that I'm saying it's not rape. I am, like, coming from a presumption of innocence to where, like, just because I say this isn't, or not even a presumption of innocence. I'm saying I don't, like, a presumption of ignorance. I don't know one way or the other. Tomfoolery Show, you went really hard on her, more than anyone else in Twitch poll. No shot. No shot. I was messaged earlier about all of this and told, hey, take it easy. Don't go too hard. And that's what I did. I took it easy. I didn't go hard. Because I would rather have a conversation in the future. Like, that to me is more important to where I'm actually able to, like, clear my name of being any of the things that she's accusing me of being. That is much more important to me. I don't know one way or the other, everyone. But how can you say that you know for sure without context, Tom? People hate it when you don't go wild because they can't get a gotcha off your unhinged behavior. Well, they're saying that I did do that, though. They're saying I did go hard. And I don't know if people have watched me before, but that is not me going hard. But you knew you were playing with fire by reacting to that video, Tom? I didn't. I didn't think much of it at the time, but whatever. Yo.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
I'm chilling. I've been watching everything kind of in the background, and it just brings me some interesting thoughts. And so I'm just gonna give you my opinion because I've said before, consent, and the conversations around consent are very delicate, and they're not delicate. They're, I guess, like, hard to define and hard to nail down concretely. So, different people are going to have different kinds of ideas, although we all should be on sort of the same general page, but it gets very murky when it comes to consent, especially with intimate partners. So, like, take Keffals out of the equation. I know we've been talking about, like, her situation, but I kind of want to talk about me and how I feel about it, and then maybe you and how you feel about it, just off the back of that, using that as a jumping point. So do you remember when Mr. Girl came out with that story about, his, encounter with the girl off of Tinder or whatever?
Yes.
And Well, I know you do. It's sort of a rhetorical question. I don't know why I waited for an answer. I know you remember that story. And me and you, I think, have talked about it before. And it
Yeah, with
seems like
Ico.
and it seems like we came to the same conclusion that,
Hmm.
although from his version of events, it could be considered rape, right? However, it really is going to depend on how she ended up feeling about it, right?
Hmm.
At the end of the day. So I want to tell you two different stories. One time about like a sort of like a fling I was having, and then like a story about a long-term relationship I was in. So with the fling, I was like a kid. I didn't know anything about like consent or like what was rape, what wasn't rape. Well, no, I knew what was rape, but like, I didn't know like um well, let me tell you the story first, and then I'll on that. So I was with this girl house that we were at. I think it was her grandfather's house or something. We had like cut school, and we went there to cut school and go have sex, obviously. So, but like this was like her first time with me, not her first time, but her first time with me. So she was a little like, what's the right word? Like she didn't want to like be the one that's like overly aggressive. So she was kind of like waiting for me to make the first move. And so anyway, so the without getting, I'm trying to think of how to say it without getting into too much graphic detail. Because remember we're like kids. But we were about to do it, and I remember like she had like sort of so like how like sometimes you can be either like having sex or about to have sex. Well, this hasn't happened a lot in my later years, but when I was younger, I noticed that you know, sometimes it seemed like the consent had to be like very, very, very clear. Like for me, like she kept getting upset because I would be you know, um, like I wouldn't ask every question, but I would almost be making sure, like super duper sure she was okay. And I think that was like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And that kind of made her like, I don't know, like feel even weirder about the situation. So then I don't know, I kind of changed my strategy up a little bit. I don't know. I say all that to say that if if at the end of the day, whatever ends up like coming out of that situation, we have to rectify the person who's making the accusations feelings. We have to rectify how they felt about the situation,
Hmm.
because you know what I mean? Because um I can have whatever version of events I want, but if somebody feels like they're victimized, their feelings have to, I think, in a lot of cases, this is not an absolute, but in a lot of cases, their feelings have to be considered a little bit, not more, but like we have to put more weight on how they're feeling about the situation, if that makes sense. So now let me tell you a story about when, like a long term relationship I was in. So, I used to be on methadone. I told you that before, and one of the side effects for me with methadone was it lowered my sex drive. And
Hmm.
my long-term partner was getting frustrated that during those 2 years that I was on it, we weren't having sex as much as we normally do. So there
Hmm.
would be days, like say we went like 4 or 5 or 6 days without sex. I would wake up and she's like sucking my dick, or trying to get me hard so she can get on top of me even though I'm fucking knocked out. Um,
Hmm.
Now I could like say I like, wouldn't that situation be up to me to say how I felt about it? Like,
Yes,
about like if I
exactly.
gave my consent? Right. Okay.
I've
Um,
told similar stories a bunch of times where I've said like, yeah, I have like numerous exes where if I wanted to, I could accuse them of rape, and
mhm,
like I hear tons of stories from women that are exactly the same where they accuse the guy of rape, but it just wasn't rape. Like I was like somewhat apathetic about it personally, but I wasn't like yeah, I just like it for me. It's just like I would never call it rape in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you would need like the fuller context. Like if somebody just told you a story about, just switch the genders around, a dude doing that to a girl who was asleep and just started having sex with her or whatever, or like was trying to turn her on while she was asleep or whatever. Um, that story is just told with no other context, and I'm sure we would most people would be like, oh, well, that's like that sounds kind of rapey, or that sounds not right in some capacity. um so yeah, so I think we agree with that, right? It's like it really depends on like the victim's point of view. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So now let's circle back to Keffals. All right. um in this situation, do you think all right, let me just ask you this. Can you explain what you mean by, um, the story that she gave? There's not enough context to call that assault. Like, not so. Let me be very careful here. I'm not trying to debate if she was assaulted or not, because
Mm-hmm.
whatever she feels like the narrative is, that's kind of what we have to go with, unless there's something that we're missing. But I think like with the information we have, let's just go with that, because I'm not trying to debate if she was or not. I'm just saying like,
Sure.
yeah, okay.
I got you. So in my like conversation with what's his name? Kid Not Kin just a minute ago, I said that I'm more so talking about like morally, like whether or not the other person did something wrong, than anything else. Based on a legal standpoint as well, I think that like yes, if they're talking about people who were in a relationship, I would assume it would come to a similar conclusion. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But yeah, I
I'm
feel
not
like
here to say you are. No, I really just wanted to get
yeah,
your opinion on it.
I'm just saying that like earlier I made the statement that like legally I think she's wrong, so I want to make sure that I like make sure that I'm not like switching the goalposts to say, oh no, now I'm just talking about morally. Like currently, yes, I am talking about morally, but I also still feel the same way about the legal standpoint. But when I'm talking about whether or not the person did something wrong morally, I'm saying that like yes, in this situation, if they have like a pattern of behavior down, that like she isn't even mentioning like any of that. She's not giving us context on that part. She's not giving us context on like how these things normally happen. She's not giving us context on like her body language or any of this, except for saying that I wasn't enthusiastic. And to me, like, I don't know that enthusiastic is necessary until you're like unless you're in the beginning of a relationship. I think that like when you're still learning about somebody and you're still
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, like when you're still learning about somebody, you're still learning about their like their expressions. You're still learning about their you're still learning about like the way that they engage with you. Like I think enthusiasm is important because you don't want to fuck that up. But once you've gotten into a rhythm, you've gotten into like a pattern of behavior with one another, and it's likely that you may not be enthusiastic but do it anyways, as you and I were just talking about, then I like at that point I feel like it's on the person to say, I'm not into this, I want you to stop. And she's literally saying, I didn't do that, but it was rape anyways because I wasn't enthusiastic. And so to me, just saying I wasn't enthusiastic isn't enough. I need like more context to make that a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay. And the reason I was saying like I'm not here to like say you're wrong is because I'm not even sure how I feel about this yet, because this has been something I've thought about my whole life. Hold on one second. Jesus Christ.
Thank you for the raid,
Somebody-
President Sunday. You aren't responding to what he said, though. He said he didn't want to debate whether or not it was. He asked me about my thought process on it, and so I was giving it to him. He was saying, like, what makes it not this thing? And I told him. He's saying, well, if all that matters is her feelings about this, then why wouldn't you just take her feelings? And I'm saying, I feel like the scenario matters and what happens in the scenario.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, I don't I'm not concretely decided on this yet. So
Let me
like
ask you a
the
question.
same. Mhm.
What total hypothetical? Say this random person goes to have sex with another total random person, and they do consent, and they say, yes, I want to have sex, and they're enthusiastic about it, and then afterwards they say, I was raped. Would you still say all that matters is their feelings on the situation?
Not just like off the bat, but definitely we need more details to that story.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so that's kind of what I'm saying, is that like I agree that their feelings on this matter a lot, and what it is that they like, what was going through their head matters a lot, but we need like actual context and actions and like all of this other stuff as well. So it's not just how they feel, but all of these other things matter as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The reason I didn't come in here with the hard position is because I don't know if I agree with you or not, but like yeah, I was leaning towards agreeing with you, and then I was thinking about like, my situations and like the experiences I've had in the past and what I could consider, rape, or what like, but would it actually have standing, right? Like, could you like for an intimate partner to rape you? I think you're right, like that. So either either these either they have to have so now I'm like debating it. Okay, I'm gonna back up on that because I really do not want to. Yeah, if so for me to call my girlfriend what she was doing to me, for me to call that rape, I would have to have told her beforehand, like, I don't like when you do that, or could you wait for me to like kind of wake up before you do that, right? Like, so the first time that happens, I'm like, I definitely wouldn't call that, rape. But like if I had a conversation with her and then she continued to do it, then it might get into that territory. But still, like, as
Mm-hmm.
a man, I would never feel comfortable accusing my girlfriend of rape. So like then it's like, do I have a bias on that because I'm a man? So like I'm still thinking through that whole process on
Yeah.
how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. I don't even want to drag this out longer than it has to. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. So
I
but
gotcha.
yeah, thanks for clarifying.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. All right, I'll talk to you later, Sam.
All right. Later.
Peace out.
Bye. So the reason that he's saying that what matters is how they feel about it is because, like you guys were talking about in the Mr. Girl situation where he's talking about having sex with this woman, she says, I'm not ready, and then he puts it in anyways and they have sex. He's saying, hey, I'm reading her body language, I'm reading her facial expressions, I'm reading the way that we're engaging, and I'm reading that what's coming out of her mouth is not what she means. That everything else is telling me otherwise, and that she does want me to do it. And so he could be right. He could be totally right that she's saying no, like, sort of thing. No, stop. I don't wanna, sort of thing. And so when this happens, what matters now is, how did she feel about it? Was she actually saying no? Was she saying I'm ready, but verbally saying I'm not ready, but like everything else is saying I am ready, I do want you to do it right now? So that's what matters. That's all that matters, is how she feels about it at that point. Because if she actually does want him to do it, even though she verbally says no, but she does want him to do it, that's not rape. Like, and that's what that's all that matters in the end. So as far as like giving a prescription, we should never say, hey, if somebody says no, don't do it, you should do it anyways, or you should try to read their body language and figure out whether or not they really want it. We should never give this as advice. That is not a good thing to tell people. Fuck that shit. If somebody verbally says no, your best bet, your safest bet every single time is to just take what they're saying verbally and double check and make sure and triple, quadruple check, like all of that. That is all you need to do, is just wait and make sure that they are okay with everything. That's all you got to do. Like, forget all this other crap. But when we're talking about whether or not we call this rape, whether or not this like is considered rape, Rape is whether or not you violated their consent. Their consent is how they feel about it. Do I want you to do this thing? It's not what they say verbally, it's what they feel. Do I feel like I want this? Do I feel like this is good? Do I feel like this is an okay situation? Is this, is this something that I'm happy with? That is what matters. And so that's what decides whether or not it's rape. Words do not matter whether or not it's rape. Words matter if you're communicating whether or not you're consenting. That's what words do. Words are just communicating the feeling that you have about whether or not you're consenting. That's all the words do. The words are not this like magic thing that make it consent or not consent. You decide whether or not it's consent or not consent. Consent matters. I agree. That's what I'm trying to explain. Consent matters. Consent is all that matters. That's it. Not the words. The words do not matter. Consent matters. And whether or not you consent is on you. Giving consent is what matters, not your feelings after. I'm not talking about your feelings after. I'm talking about the feelings in the moment. That's what I'm saying. You don't only give consent with just words. You give consent in a million different ways. And whether or not it's actual consent is up to you. Like, if you're sending mixed signals, now we're getting into like weird territory where, yes, there's a lot more gray areas here and all of that shit, right? But if we're just talking about verbal, that's just you communicating your consent. The words are not the consent. The consent is how you feel. The consent, because most of the time, you don't say anything. I've never had sex with somebody where they've said, yes, I want to have sex. That's never happened in my entire life. But all of them consented. 100% of them consented. Every single one. But not one of them said, yes, I consent, or yes, I want to do this. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. You're conditioning them to take note. You heard me just a second ago, Mike, say literally, do not do that. You heard me say that, right? I literally said, do not take a no as a yes. Like that just came out of my mouth. So I am not doing that. I'm talking about how consent works. That's what I'm talking about. Like, just because I'm talking about how consent works doesn't mean that when it comes to a prescription, I'm telling you to do this thing. When I'm telling you what to do, I'm literally saying, if somebody says no, don't have sex with them. Double check, triple check, quadruple check. If somebody doesn't want to do it and they're saying they don't want to do it, like that is all you need to go on. But as to whether or not the consent was there, we're talking about this like in a more nuanced way, not like, did you communicate consent, but was there consent? That's what we're talking about. We can say her girlfriend was wrong for not getting explicit consent, but I don't know if we can call it rape without literally seeing the interaction. Again, I've never gotten explicit consent in any scenario ever my entire life. That's never happened. It was the enthusiasm that gave me consent. It was them being into it and acting as though they wanted it and reciprocating everything that I was doing and giving facial expressions and body language and all of this other shit. That's what they did. That was the consent. Yeah, but that's the risk. I agree. Yes, that's what, yes. Okay, so now we're on the same page. Is yes, like, this is the risk. This is the risk that you're with. I'm not saying that you're doing something wrong by not asking for consent. There's obviously more risk by not asking for consent. But, yeah. The Keffals didn't do that, though? Right. I agree. But again, like, that's fairly common in relationships. Like, when you're in a relationship with somebody that you have sex with regularly, you rarely get the verbal consent, and you rarely have enthusiastic consent. You don't need to say yes for yes, but you better damn well take no for no. Yep. Agreed. If the person comes over and we discussed what we're doing beforehand, then yes. Sure. So yeah, if you guys are just getting here from President Sunday's channel, I reviewed Keffals' video about getting raped a couple weeks ago. When I reviewed it, I said what she's described here isn't enough context for us to say it's rape. Like, we don't have enough information here for us to know whether or not this was rape. Then a couple days later, jumped onto a panel. When I jumped on, they were talking about the Keffals rape video and said, Tom, what do you think about this? And so I gave my take. We had like a short conversation about like consent and the nuances in there and crap like that. She reviewed it on stream, said that we did a debate about whether or not she was raped, and that we were denying her rape and all of this other shit, that like victim blaming and all of this other crap. Then she defended calling me a pedophile, then called me a rapist, and made up a bunch of other shit about me that wasn't true. And so now we're kind of having conversations about what all happened. I don't know if I'm gonna... I do think if someone is on the spectrum, it's actually probably super important to get verbal consent. They can miss nonverbal communications more easily. Yeah, I probably agree with that. It's probably more important with somebody on the spectrum, for sure. But yeah, if you just got here, take a second and hit the thumbs up button. Appreciate you joining. We are probably, I guess we can get into one more thing.